Hello and welcome to another episode of Red Arrow Addiction. Today we're going to go ahead and do about a 1-year review on the Bear Archery Refine EKO. If you remember back to the opening of the box video, you'll remember everything that was going on. Again, that was probably somewhere back in February of 2022. We are now at late December 2022. I've had the opportunity to shoot this bow. So again, this is a 2022 Bear Archery Refine EKO. It is in the olive finish. As you can see, a number of other accessories are on this bow. I had started with the React Pro dovetail, as you can see here from Trophy Ridge. Had this set up, shot a lot of my 3D and also Total Archery Challenge, all with this sight. Has been fantastic from that perspective. Has a really small filament as far as your dot goes for your sight. Also, all the adjustments out to 100 yards. So it was very, very easy and simple to use, as it would be that React Pro dovetail, which is the 1-pin sight, as you can see. So again, wanted to go ahead and showcase that. As I switched over from shooting some of my 3D to moving into hunting, I went to the React Trio Pro. For those of you who have seen this before, I've absolutely fallen in love with this sight for hunting. So it enables me to have 20, 30, and 40 here. Your 40 pin ends up becoming a floating, and then you have adjustments here that allow you to move that all the way down to 100 yards. But again, for me, I predominantly hunt in Delaware. Most of our hunting are in some pretty dense woods, so being able to go anywhere from 20 to 40 yards is all I really need. Again, for those of you who saw the video on my opening day, so the 1st of September 2022, took a beautiful full velvet 6-point, very wide buck. It's one of those where I'm going to wait to tell the story, but it's one of those where I did not think I was ever going to see it during legal light. And of course I did. So a little bit more on this bow. As you can see, these are set up right now with my hunting setup. So I have my 3 arrows in the quiver. Again, this quiver is one that you all have seen. This is the hex light, and it gives you the ability to light up both as you're walking in or out of the woods. Also within your quiver, so that you can see your broadheads as you're taking them out or putting them in. And also gives a quick detach and able to hang up the quiver if that's what you're looking to do. I also run the Trophy Ridge Sync MD Rest. I also have the Hitman stabilizers. You can see that I'm running the 10-inch out front with the 8-inch on the side, and I've moved some weight back here. This balances perfectly in my hand, as you can see. But again, this has been an absolute fantastic bow for me. As you look at the definition of refine, it's kind of a way of refining things to get them to be more accurate. And that is exactly what Bear Archery did with their Bear Archery Refine EKO. Shooting this as compared to the Status and then the Redemption in prior years, this is a little bit more of refined bow from those two. One that shoots very well for me. Again, I was able to shoot it at Total Archery Challenge. I believe the farthest target was a little bit beyond 100 yards, maybe 120 yards on the Hoyt course, if I'm remembering it correctly. But again, practicing on ranges and everything else. There's another video, I think I put it out on Instagram, where I shot at 120 yards in a field scenario. And again, just a lot of fun to shoot this bow and dial it in. But anything close in, anything inside of 60 yards, absolute lethal tool that you can go ahead and use for 3D, hunting, other competitions. I've also been able to use this in our local high school. I've gotten started in voluntarily coaching with that NASP course. So we had 27 students get started there. I was able to take this in and show them what a modern compound bow looks like and how I'm shooting it. Also, the axle to axle on this bow. So 33 inches axle to axle. So it gives you a little bit of a longer axle to axle. Also, that with the brace heights of 6 3/8 gives you a lot of kind of give and flexibility in the bow. Again, it's not going to be real twitchy. So again, 33-inch axle to axle, 6 3/8 on your brace height. So again, a great bow from that perspective. They really designed it to be available for a lot of people. So this goes from 26.5 inch to a 30.5 inch draw length. As you can see here, it shoots 342 feet per second. So this is a very fast bow. I'll never forget, as we were walking through one of the courses, I do think it was the Leopold course at the Total Archery Challenge in Seven Springs, as I was shooting a couple targets, the people who were right behind us, as I would shoot, they were like, wow, that's a really fast bow. So I did have it set up with a little bit of a lighter arrow, shooting 73 pounds of draw weight, and yes, they are absolutely screaming. The other thing that I wanted to kind of bring up was these cams. So again, they came out when the Status EKO came out, are the EKO cams, and these I've really gotten to enjoy. This is my third year shooting an EKO cam. One of the things you've probably heard about is it gives you the ability to easily adjust from 75 to 80 to 85 to 90%. For me, 90% was too much let off. I go ahead and I draw back, even with a 73 pound draw weight, and I literally had to push it off the back wall if I needed to let down. So I've got it set right now at 85%, still getting blazing fast speeds. Again, these being my hunting arrows, they're a little bit on the heavier side, just under 500 grains set up with the SK2 broadhead. So again, these paired up with this bow are perfect. Again, anything kind of in that 50 to 60 yard range, very effective. All the deer that I have taken with it have been complete pass-throughs. The big buck that you guys had seen on that 6-pointer in full velvet that I shot opening day, that was a double lung, full pass-through. The animal expired within 30 yards. So absolutely outstanding from the effectiveness of this weapon. Highly encourage you to check it out. This is the olive finish. Again, one that I've come to enjoy. The hex light, you can see that it also has a matching color as well, so that again, my entire bow now is in the olive finish. Outside of that, I'm going to go ahead and take everything outside. We'll do a little bit of shooting. You can go ahead and see how this shoots for me. The last thing, I get a lot of people who have been asking, how much does this bow weigh? So as a Bear bow, B-A-R-E, this bow weighs 4.4 pounds, so very light. Again, considering everything that's in this package, 33-inch axle to axle, 6 3/8 inch brace height, shooting a blazing 342 feet per second, and again, only weighing 4.4 pounds. So again, this is the 2022 Bear Archery Refine EKO. Let's go ahead and cut over to shooting outside. Alright, so here we are. We're out on my range, and as you can see, here's the same Refine EKO that you saw down in my shop, and wanted to go ahead and again just show you out here in the color with the olive finish. As you can see, these are my Black Eagle arrows, carnivores. Again, got them cut down, a little extra brass in the front, wearing the SK2s from Sick Broadheads. And again, a very well finished and balanced bow. Some of the other things that were added for this year, some of the additional vibration dampening, where they're able to take another 25% of the vibration after the shot out of the bow. So quite impressive. The other question I often get is, what release am I shooting? And this is the Trophy Ridge Precise Pro. You've probably seen it on the website, but if you have a look at the Trophy Ridge releases, this is the top thumb release. It has a bit of a set trigger on it, and you can see that I've taken the wrist strap off. So there's a thin rope that goes right through here to attach around your wrist. Now when I'm shooting 3D, I'm doing Total Archery Challenge, any type of other indoor competition, of course I do have that on. However, what I find is when I'm hunting, I do like having that off for the simple purpose that I can either have it hanging next to me with the release on and ready to go like this, or as I'm sitting in my stand, I can have it resting across my legs. Again, I often saddle hunt, so again, this will often be sitting on the tree right next to me, hooked up and ready to go. Again, with the EKO cams, you can see this cam is big, not super aggressive, so it's a nice smooth draw coming back. It's got a very solid back wall. And again, I do not have the limb stops on it right now, just the string stops. So again, there's a little bit of a give on the back wall, but it's really nice. It doesn't feel like a speed bow or just wants to go ahead and rip right out of your hands. So you can sit and rest and relax back there. Believe it or not, when I had it set at 85% let off, I had one example where I was like, you know what, let me see how long I can hold it back for. So at even 85% with 73-pound draw weight, so again, somewhere around 7.5, maybe 8 pounds that I was holding, I was able to hold that back for an hour and a half. Then I just decided to let it down. But again, with that kind of let off, just a great bow. Haven't had any concerns about having to rush on shooting a target, clearly. So again, as we come back, kind of come up, draw straight back. You can see I've got a big shot target down there in front of me. And again, I'm just going to hold on the first dot. And you'll see, again, that's a bullseye. So this bow is just so nice and easy to shoot. Hopefully you're also able to hear how quiet it is. It is a very quiet bow. Somewhere in and around that 90 decibels is where it was measured. But as we load our next arrow in, we'll go ahead and set our Trophy Ridge MD sync. You can see that's now set. And again, here on the Trio Pro, I'm set on my top dot. I'm using my top pin at 20 yards. Again, this bow is just perfectly balanced, as you could go ahead and see as the shot went through. Again, I very simply just come in, draw, and settle in. I'm going to go ahead and aim at another dot. That was another bulls. So again, just a really nice shooting bow. One of the other things you'll see is I do actually shoot a peep. I also shoot a kisser. What's different on this kisser is the last couple of years I've been tying infinity knots for my kisser, which again is something that I can then make sure that it's exactly where I want it. So I have that repeatability, just again additional points of hold on my face to make sure that we are consistent every single time. So again, here we are, it's late December, a little chilly, a little windy. Hopefully you're not picking up too much of that on the mic. But I absolutely love this Bear Archery Refine. That's it for the Bear Archery Refine EKO. Highly recommend you go and check it out at your pro shop. If you need any help, go to beararchery.com, look at the beararchery.com and look at the dealer finder website, type in your zip code, and you'll see the different dealers around you where you can go shoot one of these for yourself. Again, this is Todd DiCaprio from Red Arrow Addiction. I thought that would be fun to get a couple 3 shots coming right at you. Be interesting to see how that sounds. Well, let's get a couple other ones here. As you can see, it is a bit windy. Aimed at the bottom right dot there on the target. great. There we go. 3 bullseyes. Now I can hear the train coming. Let's see if we can get a couple shots in before the train comes. That would be a little bit loud. Don't know if we're gonna make it. The train is a coming. There you have it. 3 quick shots. Here comes the train.